this one is a devotee. So the scholars were very scared, and he said, I give you 3 days time. And after 3 days you come and tell me how I can see God, otherwise write your will. So the scholars became very scared, all the Pandits, the Vidwan in the assembly. They could not eat after that. Yes, they are on Nirjala. Because now they didn't know what answer they can give. They will be finished soon. So when the 3rd day came, then there was one scholar who was intelligent. He got an idea. Because the scholars, they all know that if you want to see God, you have to work yourself. It's not some material object that you can show it to somebody. You have to perform sadhana. You have to become spiritually advanced. And then God may reveal Himself to you. Even then it is not guaranteed that you can see Him. So Krishna Himself says, Naham prakasa sarvasya yoga maya samavita. That I am not available, visible to everybody. I am being covered by my yoga maya. So either you can think that he is covered by his yoga maya, or we are covered by his bahiranga maya. Thing is that we cannot see him. And if we want to see, we have to do something. So this one scholar, he got a bright idea. And when the 3 days passed, then they all appeared in the court. And this scholar, along with him, he brought one milkman. Like here, every day this milkman comes to supply milk. So he told this milkman that you come with me, I will give you some money. Whatever milk you sell in one day, I will give 10 times of that. But you bring one bucket of milk with you and one spoon in it. So he came happily. He's getting 10 times. And he's getting a chance to go to the king's court where they are not allowed. So when all the scholars came, then king asked this question. So this scholar, he stood up and he said, I will speak on behalf of all these friends here. They can relax. The thing is that king's question is very easy, it is very simple. So there is no need to bother about it. And even I don't have to answer it. This question can be answered by this milkman. So king was surprised that this illiterate milkman from the village, how he can answer this. And this milkman, he was taking his spoon and he was putting it in the bucket and pouring it down and looking at it very curiously. And he was not bothered about anybody. So the scholar said to the king that he will answer. So he said, yeah, he will answer, but what is he doing? So he said, please, you can ask him. So he asked him that, what are you doing? So he says, my lord, I am finding butter in the milk. So he says, but how can you find butter in the milk like this? Just taking the spoon and pouring and then trying to see it. He says, because there is butter in the milk, I must find it. So king started laughing. He says, you fool, you are really illiterate village fellow. You don't know how to get butter from the milk. You have to first heat it. You have to turn it into yogurt, keep it overnight, and when it is set, then you have to churn it with a churning rod, then the butter will come out. How can you see butter like this? So the village guy said that, yes, thank you for your answer. Otherwise I will be wasting my time searching for butter. But if you want to see God who is everywhere, like butter is there in milk everywhere, you also have to do something. If I cannot even see the butter in this milk, how can you see God? If you want to see butter, I have to do some special work. And that also I have to wait. Because it's not that you can make it yogurt immediately in 5 minutes. Maybe you can make cheese, paneer, but not yogurt. That takes time. So then king, he understood that it is not that anyone can show you God, you have to do it, you have to practice. So this verse is saying that Rishe Vidanti Muni hai Prashant Atmendriya Ashaya. Earlier he said that no one can know him. Says Naham Nayuyam Yadritam Gatim Vidur Navamudeva Kumita Parimrudve. He says, I don't know, you also don't know, even Shiva does not know. But he can be known if one has controlled mind, peaceful mind, and heart is clean. But if one wants to know him simply by logic, arguments, then he says, Tadaiva asattarkai triyodhiyeta viplutam. That same person, the Lord, he remains invisible, tirodhan. Like we have avirbhavam tirobhav. So he says tirodhiyet. He remains invisible. Because he is not, why should he be available to everybody when people are not interested in him? Nobody is interested in God. So why should he make the effort to be visible to them? Therefore he says asattarkai tarodhiya. And definitely he cannot be understood simply by logic. That is one problem with God. That he can be known only by the process which he has prescribed. And he reserves the right to become available. If we want to challenge him or we think that we can know him by our own power, then that is not possible. And that was known from Brahma's own experience when he said that he travelled into this lotus stem for 1,000 years and yet he could not see the Lord. Because he was looking for the source of this lotus, who is the Lord. Looking for the source of the lotus means looking for the source of the universe. The universe is within the lotus stem. So Brahma could not see that. But when he performed austerities, then Sadadarshan, then he saw. So that is the message, that if we want to realize God, if we want to see Him, then we have to follow scripture. Otherwise, Krishna says very clearly, Yes Shastra Vidhi Mutsrijya Vartate Kam Karta Dasa Shanti Mavapnoti Na Sukham Na Paranga. Those people who work frivolously without following the injunction of the scripture, they cannot get happiness, peace of mind, but to speak of the supreme destination. So that is being said here. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Rishe he narada muniyo manasila yada prashant atmendriyashaya bhavanti tada tadvidanti. So Brahma says that, O Narada, the sages, the thoughtful sages, mananshil, who understand what is proper, what is improper, when they become peaceful, and peace is usually misunderstood by people, because everybody wants peace, but peace cannot come without devotion. Uddhava had asked a question to Lord Krishna, what is peace? So Lord said, Samho man nishtha. That sham or peace means having nishtha in me. And nishtha means when one progresses in devotion beyond anartha nivritti and mind becomes fixed. and that is peace. So there is no question of peace without devotion. People can try anything. Now there is a lot of advancement made by science and technology. Yesterday there was news that they have done experiments that they can wipe out memory, part of the memory of a rat. They can do something to the brain of a rat and some particular part they can wipe out completely. So you can do all these types of things. You can modify the genes, you can remove the memory, but you cannot make the mind peaceful. That is possible only by devotion. Unless and until mind is there, of course if you destroy the brain completely, everyone becomes like a potato. You cannot even think. Then that is another way of making it peaceful. That you just make it important. But then it becomes peaceful and also useless. It has no meaning, it has no purpose. So sometimes you see some people are there, mentally retarded. They don't know what is going on, cannot even take care of their own body. So that kind of peace is useless. But if one wants peace with awareness, that peace is without awareness. The person himself is not aware of himself. So that peace has no value. And it's just like trees are also peaceful. They are very peaceful. And if you go, you also feel peaceful. But the real peace, he says, Prashanta Atma Indriya Ashaya. That when one has peaceful mind, controlled senses, and pure heart, then one can know the Lord. So it's like our mind is running very fast. So then you cannot see. It's like if you have your hand and if you move it very fast, side and this side and that side, then you cannot read something written in front. It's not possible. To read something, you have to fix your gaze on it. You have to be stable. So similarly, if you want to see God who is everywhere, then our mind has to stop running. And that is the meaning of samadhi, trance. Then you can see. So at present our mind is very flickering, as Arjuna said, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramathi balvad dridham. Mind is very chanchala. Chanchala means always moving. Chala means to move and chanchala means continuous movement, non-stop. It's very difficult. You can do experiment. Put a watch in front of you and see if you can remain without thought for 1 minute. Then you know how it moves. So he says that these munis, the thoughtful sages, they can see the Lord, they can know Him when their mind is peaceful, senses are in control and heart is pure. Heart pure means no desires to enjoy the senses. It is not there. Not only no desire, but no cause for any such desire. The desire cannot even arise in the mind. Anyatha asattarter viluptam tadev vastu tirodhiyate. Otherwise, by asat or useless logic, the same vastu, the Lord, reality, remains hidden. Etena tasya nirvishesham swarupam yad brahma tat kathanchidapi gyatum sakyam natu savishesha swarupam iti uktam. So he says, by this, and because in the previous verse, Lord's nirvishesh form was described, the qualityless feature Brahman. So he says that it is possible to know something about Brahman, but to know about Bhagavan is not possible. That means by practice of yoga, by control of mind, you can get some glimpse of Brahman because it has no qualities. Sattvat samjayate jnanam. From sattva comes jnana, and jnanam yad Brahma darshanam. And from jnana, some Brahma darshan, some glimpse of Brahma. But Bhagavan cannot be known without his grace and devotion. एवमेव विबोद्धुम अर्हति अमलांतरात्मभिः इत्यादिना दशम स्कंधे अपि वक्ष्यते. And this will be further shown in the 10th canto, in the prayers of Lord Brahma, where he speaks that although it is not possible to know you, but those who have pure heart, amalantaratma, they can know you. Now in the next few verses, he talks about how Lord is manifest in the form of this universe. Adyovatara purusha parasya kala svabhava sadasanmanascha dravyam vikaro guna indriyani virat swarat sathasnu charishnu bhumnah aham bhavo yagyai me prajesha दक्षादयो ये भवदादयश्च स्वलोकपालाः खगलोकपालाः निलोकपालाः स्थललोकपालाः गन्धर्वविद्याधरचारणेशाः ये यक्षरक्षोर्गनागनाथाः ये वा ऋषीणां वृषभाः पितॄणां दैत्येन्द्र सिद्धेश्वर दानवेन्द्राः अन्ये च ये प्रेतपिशाच भूत कुष्माण्डयादो मृगपक्षधीशाः यत्किञ्च लोके भगवन्महस्व दोजः सहस्वद्बलवत्क्षमावत् श्रीभिः विभूत्यात्मवदद्भुतानं तत्त्वं परं रूपवदस्वरूपम्. Say that whatever has form or formless, it is all manifestation of the Supreme Lord. His first avatara is the Purusha avatar. It is described in the 3rd chapter of 1st canto. We read it because Sonaka has asked about avatars. So the list was given there, and the first avatara was the Purusha avatara. That is Karma Daksha Vishnu, and then all other avatars come from him. And then he himself manifests as time, Swabhav, the nature of objects, Sadasan, and the cause and effect in the form of material nature, mind, the material elements, ego, the gunas of nature, the senses, cosmic body, cosmic person, and everything movable and immovable. It's all manifestation of the all-pervading Lord. Then he says that I, Shiva, Vishnu, and all these Prajapatis, such as Daksha, and you, who are the sons of Brahma, Narada, etc. Indra, the master of heaven, and Khagalokpala Garuda, the king of the planet of the birds, and Nilokpala, the various protectors of the human planet, Talalokpala, and also of the lower planetary systems, Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Charnesha, then Yaksha, Raksha, the snakes, serpents, and their chiefs, and Yeva Rishinam Rishabha Pitrinam, and the chiefs of the sages and the forefathers, and the leader of the Daityas, the demoniacs people, and of the perfected beings, the Siddhas, and Danvendras, the king of Danavas. Anye cha ye preta pishacha bhuta kushmandayado brig pakshadhis. And also the pretas, pisachas, bhutas, all these ghosts of goblins and kushmandas, they are all associates of Lord Shiva. Pret, bhut, pisach, kushmand, aquatics, animals, birds, and their controllers. And whatever is there in this world, this is all the manifestation of the Lord. Then whatever splendorous, wonderful thing you see, the power of the senses, power of the mind, physical power, the beauty, modesty, opulence, and anything having wonderful color, means whatever nice things you see in this world, Tattvam Param Rupavad Aswarupam, that you should know is all manifestation of Tattva. So just as in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there is description of Vibhuti, Vibhuti Yoga, majesty of Lord Krishna. Here also in brief he has mentioned that it is all manifestation of Lord's power. So again the idea behind this description is that we should never forget God or Krishna. Whatever we see all around us, spiritual or material quality or object, activity or some energy or power or some great personalities and their activities, then these are all manifestation of Purusha, the Supreme Person. This is the meaning. So Sri Vishnu Chakravarti says, Saiva Adhyaha Purusha iti anena slokena uktam Purushavataram tat karma cha vivranoti. So in this first verse he describes about Purushavatar and his activities. Sardhis Chaturthi in 4.5 verses. Parasya Parvyomadhi Nathasya Bhagavate Adya Prathama Avatara. The first avatar, descent of the Lord, who is the master of the spiritual sky, is called Purusha. Prakriti Ikshan Karta Karnana Shayi. And he is called Karnana Shayi because he is lying down on the Karnana causal ocean. He is the one who glances at the unmanifest material nature. And then this material nature becomes active. By his glance, he infuses jivas into it and makes the time factor active. Then according to the swabhav, karma and influence of time, these three things, they bring a change and then further manifestations which are listed here. Jagrihe Paurusham Rupam Bhagavaniti. This is Pratmokta, this was a statement given in the first canto, 3rd chapter, first verse. Kal Swabhadaya cha yas tasya karmochate kalpe kalpe srijati aja. And Kal and Swabhav, etc., these are the karma of the Lord. As was said that he creates in every kalpa, in every cycle. Atma Atma Atmanam Atmani Tyukte. That he creates by himself, within himself, through himself, and what he creates subsists in himself. Sayeko api Maya Shaktya Nana Bhavet. Although he is one, by his Maya Shakti he becomes many. Sadasat Kare Karnatmakam Sarvam Vishwam. And Sadasat means cause and effect, and this refers to the whole universe. Tadevam Vivranoti Manaiti. And he describes this. Kramavatru na vivakshita. Here the order is not intended because there are material elements, then he says that ego comes. If you want to see the order, then that is described before and also later on. In the order that first Kriti, then Mahatattva, then ego, and then other things. So here the list is not in order. Dravyam Mahabhutani, Dravya means the five material elements. Vikaro Ahankara, Vikara means the ego. And Guna is Sattva Rajas Tamas. Virat means the cosmic body. Pataladi, all this Patal, Tal, Tal, Mahatal, Sutal, Vital, Talatal, and so on. And Swarat is Masti Jivo Hiranyagarbha. Swarat is the cosmic person who is called Hiranyagarbha. Sthavaram Charishnu Jangamam Vyashti Sariram. So Sthavar and Charishnu means that which moves. This refers to the individual bodies. So there is the universal body and then individual bodies of living beings. Bhumnaha Parameswarasya Sambandha. This is all manifestation of the Parameswar, the Lord. Tatha aham brahma tadadayastrayo gunavatar. So he says, I, Brahma and Shiva, these three, they refer to the gunavatar. Kham bhuvar lokas tadgata lokapala. And kham refers to the bhuvar loka. There is bhuloka, bhuvar loka and swarloka. So swarloka and then khagloka and nirloka. So it is referring to the three planetary systems. And Tamlokpala Pataladhipati. Tamlokpala refers to Pataladhipati. There is a difference in reading. Somewhere it is mentioned Talalokpala. Somewhere, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti, it is Tamlokpala. Rakshor Gayati Sandhirarsha. This is some grammatical rule he is mentioning. So this is the whole list, and then he concludes this chapter, the last verse. Says Pradhanyato Yana Rishiyamananti Leelavataran Purushasya Bhumna Apiyatam Karna Kashaya Shoshan Anukramishyeta Iman Sukeshan. Says that there are various Leela avatars of the Lord, and I will describe to you the chief ones among them. So you hear them, they are very beautiful, and they remove the disease of the ear. So the disease of the ear is that it wants to hear Gramya Katha, mundane talk, very much eager to hear. And of course also very eager to talk. Has to hear, somebody has to talk also. So very strong impulse in human beings to talk and then hear. They cannot sit quietly. Everywhere. Now they have mic. So they make sure that somebody will hear. Even at night. They don't let you sleep in peace. So he says, Karna Kashaya Shoshan Anukramasya. Kashaya means impurity. So there is always some impurity in the ear. So it has to be removed. So he says the solution for that is that you drink the nectar of these Leela avatars, which he is going to describe in the 7th chapter, the next chapter. So human beings have great desire to hear others' criticism and one's own glorification. This is the Gramya Ras. If somebody glorifies you, even if it is false, then you fall for that. So, Prabhu, you are very wonderful and you are a very nice preacher. And you are a pakka devotee. Right? So immediately Prabhu is in the air. Then it is very difficult to bring him down. So this is the material ras. that we want to hear our own glorification and others' criticism. If you glorify somebody else in front of another person, he will not pay any interest. He will refute it. But if you criticize, then he says, I was already thinking like that. Now it is confirmed. Becomes stamped that I already knew that he is a rascal. Now you have confirmed it. So that then immediately there is happiness. This is called the disease of the ear. And it can be solved only by hearing Krishna Katha. There is no other solution for it. So he explains here, Kim Bahuna Yat Kinchid Bhagavadadi. Some commentary remaining from the previous words. Bhagam Srikam Mahatma Virya Yatna Arka Kirti Suiti Amara Maheshwat Teja Yuktam Oja Sahobalani Indriya Mana Sharir Patvani Hri Akarm Jukupsha. So basically he is giving the meaning of the words in the previous words. Vibhuti Sampatti Atma Buddhi Adbhutaranam Ashcharya Varnam Tat Sarvam Tattvam Rupvat Sakaram Asmadadikam Param Aswarupvat Nirakaram Kaladikam Cheti Dvividham Bhagavad Rupam Api Aswarupam Na Bhagavata Swarupam Tasya Swarup Shakti Vilasatva Bhavat Ityat. So he says whatever has form as we have or whatever is formless like time. Time has no form. Although we all feel it, but it doesn't have form. Or the sky has no form. So these are all manifestation of Lord's energy. Evam cha kaladinam purushavtarasya karmarupatvapi te shaktayo brahmadayo gunavtaraha prajapatyadeyo vibhutiyo anye kechit jnanino yogina karmino mudhascha sthavar jangamascha sarve purushavtarasya Srishti Adi Leela Parikara. So he says this Brahma, Vishnu, and this Shiva and Vishnu, the Gunavataras, and the Prajapati, Daksha, etc., they are the Vibhutis of the Lord of Majesty. And then there are some other people who are learned, Gyanis, Yogis, and Karmis. They are also foolish people, immovable like trees, and Jangama like animals. He says they are all associates of the Lord in his pastime of creation. Evam Maya Shakti Pradhanyena Purushavtaram Uktva Chit Shakti Mayan Leela Avtaran Varaha Yagyadin Bhaktama. So these are the manifestation of the Lord with predominance of Maya Shakti, material energy. Now he wants to explain his manifestation which is predominated by Chit potency, internal energy, and these are the Leela avatars such as Varaha, Yagya, Kurma and so on. Pradhanyata amananti iti upasyatvena anshena iti vyanjati. And these are mainly described in the scriptures. Karnayoho kashayam varta Antar Shravan Vasana Shoshiyanti Iti Tan. So he says, what is the advantage of hearing about Krishna Katha is that it makes you free from the desire to hear other things. You don't take interest in hearing all other topics. Tan he rishe tubhyam anukramishye kramena katishe. Says that, O Narada, I am going to speak about these Leela Avataras in order to you. Tat kathamritam tvaya piyatam. Says, please drink that nectar of Katha. Iti bhavartha darshinyam harshinyam bhakti chetsam षष्ठोऽध्यायो द्वितीयस्मिन् संगतः सत्ता. So this way, the commentary called Sarartha Darshanam on 6th chapter of 2nd Canto has been completed by Sri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur by the association of